to Math, Everyday Math, Lesson 3.8 Extension, and we're going to go through our quiz. So today, I'm going to go through, in your math workbook, page 91, we're going to go over connecting fractions and division. We're going to talk through some of these problems. And then, after we get through with this page, we're actually going to go through and do a quick quiz to see what you remember from all of unit lessons 3.1 through 3.8. Let's see how you do. There are going to be about 8 questions at the very end, and so that's what we're going to look for to see how you did on the quiz, to kind of see where you are for this unit. So, starting with this page, again, page 91 if you have your math workbook. If not, you can work along with me. It's fine. First, it says, write a division expression to model each number story, then solve. You can use fraction circles or draw pictures to help you. So, use any strategy that works for you. Olivia is running a 3-mile relay race with 3 friends. 4 of them each run the same distance. How many miles does each person run? So I know that I'm going to take 3-mile race. I'm dividing by 4 people. How much do they run each? Well, if I have 3 miles, splitting it with 4 people, that means 1, 2, 3 over 4, 3/4 of a mile. Make sure that you put a label, all right? Super easy. You guys know how to do this. We've been doing this. This is review. Number 2, Chris had 3 pints of blueberries for fruit salad. If he splits his blueberries equally into 8 serving bowls, how many pints will be in each bowl? Notice that it says pints. So I don't have to convert, which is awesome news. All right. So he has 3 pints and he's splitting it into 8 bowls. So our division number model will be 3 divided by 8 equals B for blueberries or bowl, whichever you choose. Your fractional answer should be 3/8 per bowl. 3/8 pint. Sorry, 3/8 of a pint per bowl. Now, in a normal situation, you do need to have the word pint, so keep that in mind, okay? Number 4, this is going to actually be a question that I want you to try on your own as well. I want to see if you can figure it out. So, I'm going to read it. You're going to try it on your own, and let's see what you get, all right? 4 students shared 9 packages of pens equally. How many pencils, sorry. How many packages of pencils did each student get? I'm going to read it again. 4 students shared 9 packages of pencils equally. How many packages of pencils did each student get? What I need you to do is I want you to go ahead and pause now. I want you to write down your answer, and when you are done, come back. Did you pause and finish that question? I hope so. Here you go. For 4 students sharing 9 packages of pencils equally, how many packages of pencils did each student get? You should have had 9 divided by 4 equals P, because there are 9 packages of pencils divided by 4 people. So the way that you can do this, I'm going to draw my 9 packages of pencils. And you could just write, absolutely, you could write 9/4, or you can make it into a mixed number. I'm going to make it into a mixed number as well. I'm going to circle groups of 4. There's 1. There's 2. So that means they had 2 and 1/4 packages. If you had either of those answers, it would be acceptable. You could either say 9/4 or 2 and 1/4. I would accept either one. Okay? Now, compare your numbers in each division model with your fractional number answers. What do you notice? Well, my numbers in the problem are my answers, right? Write a rule for finding the fractional answer to a division problem using the dividend and divisor. So the dividend is what you are dividing. The divisor is how you are dividing. And then on top will be the dividend. And on the denominator will be the divisor. There you go. It says write and solve your own number story using your rule. So that's my rule. Now you need to write your own number story. So this is going to be kind of fun. Remember, I showed you a couple of ways to do this. When you want a fractional answer and you write a number story, you can include some very simple sentences, and then you can change it whenever you need to make it make sense. Now, remember, when you're writing a number story problem where your answer is a fraction, make sure you're using something that can be split up. You don't want to have to make a fraction of a person or the fraction of an animal or something that's living. So my suggestion, when you're writing a division number story problem, use food. It just makes it easy. I have 9 bananas. I share them with 2 friends. How many bananas, bananas, do we get? Remember to always put a question mark on that last sentence. Now, 9 bananas sharing with me and 2 friends, that's 3 people total. So my division story problem answer would be 9 divided by 3 equals B. I could make it into a fraction, 9 over 3, and then that is the same as 3. So if we have those 9 bananas, we would each get 3. That's how you do your division story problem. Awesome. Now, what I need you to go ahead and pause this video. When you come back to this video, I want you to have a pencil and a piece of paper ready. That way, if you need to do your math on your pencil and paper, you can. Okay? All right, I am ready for this quiz. Are you ready? I hope so. So for the first question, this goes back to lesson 3.1. It says John and 3 of his friends are splitting 6 pizzas. How much pizza will each of them get? So John and 3 of his friends are splitting 6 pizzas. How much will they get? Make sure that you really think about this and think it through. Remember, you can draw pictures of those 6 pizzas to help you. And then split them up. Really think about how many people are joining it, how many people are eating. It's John and his 3 friends. Do the problem, choose your answer, and then hit continue. All right, here we go. Time for question number 2. This is actually from lesson 3.2. This is connecting fractions and division, part 2. So Mrs. Gordon brought in 5 watermelons for her class. She is splitting them up between 30 of her students. How much of each watermelon will each student get? So 5 watermelons, 30 students. This is going to be hard to do the picture, but you know our rule. What are you dividing? How are you dividing it? So are you cutting up the watermelon or are you cutting up the students? Pick your fraction, choose the answer that you agree with, and then hit continue. Time for our next question. Now we're going to talk about lesson 3.3. We were working on how to interpret a remainder. Remember, when we are doing a division problem, if there is a remainder, there are a few things we can do. We can ignore it. We can round up, or we can make it a fraction. The reason why we would ignore it is maybe you're using money and some money that's left over. The reason why you might round it up is maybe we have shelves and we need to make sure all the books are on the shelves. Or you're sending a package and all the things need to be included. Or you're going on a field trip and all the kids need to be included. When we make it into a fraction, it's because things can be shared equally. Remember, we did problems that talked about the pancakes is one that we did that you could share equally. There's another one with laundry detergent that you can share equally. So if it can be split apart, if it can be cut up and shared equally, make it into a fraction, okay? Sawyer and her friend made pancakes for breakfast. They made 14 pancakes for 5 people. They want to make sure that each person gets an equal serving. How many pancakes will each person get? You need to figure out what is your answer. You should have a quotient and a remainder, and then you should have a final answer. So do the division. Tell me, what is the quotient? Great. Now, you're going to tell me what is the remainder. After you do the division, what's left over? What's the remainder? Awesome. And now you're going to have to tell me what is the total number of pancakes that each person's going to get. How much are they going to get? And finally, with this question, what did you do? Did you ignore the fraction, throw the pancakes away? Did you round up and say, okay, you get an extra one and you get an extra one because I like you more? Or did you make it into a fraction? What did you do? All right, time for our next question. So 3.4, it's fractions on a number line. It says divide this number line into fourths, which it already is, and then label each tick mark. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to start by labeling it. I'm going to do it with you, and I'm going to remind you how we do this. Remember, when we divide it into fourths, that means that between 0 and 1, there are 4 spaces. That's how I know it's fourths. So we have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, that would be 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, and that would be 8/4. Also, remember, there's sometimes are different names. This is called 5/4, but it's also called 1, because it's past 1, and 1/4. 1 and 2/4, 1 and 3/4. Remember, the fractions on the number line sometimes have different names depending on where they are. All right? Your job is to try to rename the mixed number 8/6. Rename it as a mixed number. Rename 8/6 as a mixed number. All right, now we've played Fraction Top It before. Fraction Top It is where you need to take your fraction cards. It was actually one that you were supposed to do for homework. And you're supposed to be able to add it together and make the largest number, not necessarily largest fraction. So you don't want to make it like 900/2, but you do need the largest number. Remember, there are a few hints with this. One of the hints that you can use is think about where your largest number should be and where your smallest number should be. So let's think about this, just a little hint before we do this part of the test, part of the quiz. If I have the number 1/2, that means 1 pizza divided by 2 people. Think about how big that is. If I have the number 2/1, That means 2 pizzas for 1 person. Which pieces are bigger? So your hint is the bigger the number on top and the smaller the number on bottom, the bigger your pieces. Okay? The smaller on the bottom, the bigger the pieces. We can try that again with 1/4 and 1/2. If I draw 1/4 and if I draw 1/2, which one has the bigger pieces? This or this? It definitely would be 1/2. So remember your hint. The smaller number on the bottom, the bigger your pieces will be. All right? Remember the way you play number top it, fraction top it, is you have 2 numbers for the top, 2 numbers for the bottom, and you add them together to make your answer. All right, so here are your cards. You have a 2, a 6, a 3, and a 4. 2, 6, 3, and 4. How would you play your cards? All right, I'm going to go through how I would have played my cards if it were me. I would have definitely put my 6 and my 4 on top to make my largest number on top, and my 2 smallest numbers on bottom. So 6 plus 4 is 10. 2 plus 3 is 5. So 10 over 5 is definitely going to be the biggest fraction you could have used. All right, time for the next question. If you have, oh, we already did this one. Hang on, hold that thought. I moved it. There it is. John calculated that 1/4 plus 1/2 equals 2/6. Does that make sense? Why or why not? Does it make sense? If you clicked yes, tell me why. And if you clicked no, tell me why. Give me one sentence to explain why you think that doesn't make sense. Or does make sense. All right, if it were me, I would have said that does not make sense because 1/2 plus a number should be bigger than 1/2. 2/6 is smaller than 1/2. So it does not make sense. That's what you should have written. If you didn't write that, it's okay, but this is what you need to use for your reasoning from now on when we compare fractions. Use those benchmarks, remember? All right, we're going to now look at number 3.7. Here you go. This is Wednesday's lesson. Howard ran 1.47 miles in the morning and 11/12 miles in the afternoon. How many miles did Howard run during the day? So 1 4/7 in the morning, 11/12 in the afternoon. How many miles did he run during the day? So I'm going to add those together. Add them together and see what you get. This needs to be an estimation. Is it going to be more than 2 or less than 2? When you do this question, I hope that you chose the right answer. So I'm going to show you what I would have done. When I think about this, I think 11/12 is really close to 1. Plus 1 plus 4/7 is close to 1/2. So 1.5 plus 1 is going to be bigger than 1. Bigger than 2. That is the answer that you should have chosen. Some people were getting confused by this symbol here. Remember, when it uses the little duck mouth, the duck mouth or alligator mouth, however you want to say it, it eats the biggest side. Remember? So if you said this is larger than 2, then this is the symbol you should have chosen. Okay? Awesome. Now we're going to go on to the next question. This is the last question of your quiz. Here we go. It says, well, last 2 questions. There are 2. It says renaming fractions and mixed numbers. So I have 1 4/3. So I need to make it into 2 and something. So here's my hint with this. 1 whole And 4/3 equals what? All right, you should have said 2 and 1/3. I combined 3 of those in order to make another third. Now, blank and 7/5 equals 4 and 2/5. So I'm going to start with 4 and 2/5. I need to figure out how to make it a whole number and 7/5. Break up 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of your whole numbers and see what you get. Remember, on this one, you can use the SAD method if you choose, or you can use the pictures. All right, for this answer, you should have marked out one of these and made it into fifths. So it would have been 3 and 7/5. If that's what you have, great job. Now, your lesson for the day is done. Enjoy what you're doing. Go have a little bit of fun with your activities. Make sure you're getting everything done for the day. You do have a couple of other things in the assignment for today, so make sure you're getting those finished as well. Have a great day and be ready next week to start with lesson 3.9. Bye, guys.